morning, I'm Zonar Arachnus, prominent futurologist extraordinaire. Why do prominent futurologists always have ridiculous names like that? They're never just like, hi, I'm Tommy Smith. No, it's always like some exotic sounding like, hi, I'm Bravavico Lucidius, and I'm here to talk about the future of the universe.
Their names are from the future.
Their names are from the future, and we are coming to you from the past. It's Tuesday today, and I've got lots of excuses, so you guys ready for some excuses? Shall we pile on some excuses? I've got the flu, all right? There's one. My toenails need to be cut. It's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks. I don't even know. You guys go longer than that, so that doesn't count. Take that one down. Let's see. I had to dance in a mosh pit with kids who were hardcore dancing. Really bad experience. One of them stepped on my little foot. I'm going to be out of town, yeah. So that's why you're getting a Tuesday recorded crit show on Sunday. But we're going to make it 672% better, especially for those people who've missed it. You'll never know. You'll never know. All right, so stay tuned. We've also got some doomsday stuff that I know you guys like to salivate to. And I'm not even going to talk about the whole NVIDIA conspiracy stuff going on right now with them being anti-competitive until we see what's really going on. And then we'll talk about it. But it makes sense. All right, first off, let's get into, I like bothering the poor Ben Shapiro guys, but listen, it's okay to be wrong. Sometimes you got to own up to it. But a lot of people have been saying like, hey, and that neutrality thing, whatever, it's gone and now nothing's changed and all that stuff. Well, there's a lot of things that have changed and will be changing. And if you want to be blind to it, that's fine. But here's another example. This email service that I wasn't even sure existed because I don't have Comcast, but this email service called Tutnoda. I didn't even tut a note about it. Did you tut a note about it? Nobody tut a note about it who was on Comcast because it didn't exist to you if you were on Comcast. Comcast's response to this is like, well, we didn't know. We don't know how that happened. We don't know how it got blocked. But on our services, it doesn't work. We don't know. This is how everyone speaks to Comcast. They continually get more and more like this. They start off normal and then they go like this when they go, no, I don't know. Yeah, their inner demon comes out and the inner demon has a weird speech thing. Okay, from now on, the CEO of Comcast talks like this. Mouth moves up and down, but it doesn't enunciate properly. And we got some dumb ideas to talk about today. How about Carnot? Do you care about it? I Carnot is what I say. So Carnot is a heater, like a heater that sits on the wall that mines cryptocurrency. Carnot. Q-A-R-N-O-T. Carnot.
Shouldn't that be Quarnot?
There's no U. You don't pronounce it Quain, do you? So yeah, it's Carnot the Heat Barian is what they should have called it, but they didn't because they didn't call me. They obviously didn't call me because they put two RX 580s in there and priced it at $3,600. So you're paying almost $4,000 for two RX 480s and a heating unit that's going to mine for you. They said it could make up to $120 per month. Where did they get that figure? That seems a little high for two RX 580s, but maybe that. So even if it does, that, it's still going to take 20, 30 months to pay that back, but you have to take into account power consumption costs and that sort of thing. That all goes into it as well. It's going to be using a lot more power than a regular heater would that's just designed to heat. It seems like it would make a lot more sense to me just to buy a regular heater and then also build a mining rig if that's what you want to do. But what happened really here is a couple guys sat around smoking whatever they smoke, PVC, I don't know. What are the real nerds smoking these days? I don't want to say the wrong thing, okay? Because you guys will get me. You warriors are ready, like I'm so ready. They smoke thermal paste. What a nerd stoner's like, whoa, man, this is amazing. Why don't we make a heater? It's so hot in here. They're British. From Carnot is a British company, guaranteed. It is priced in euro. That's not London anymore. They're not in the European Union. They're from where should I say they're from? Spain. Is it racist to do a Spanish accent? Or does that cross over into that territory that like white guys are not allowed to do that? I'm part Native American. I can get away with whatever I want, right?
Yes.
We do a Spanish accent. You are very nice. That is, what is that?
Borat.
That's Borat. Okay. From now on, everyone from Spain is now from Kazakhstan for the purposes of this show. We make a very good heat unit out of this. Okay, now it's somewhat French. Okay, I hate everybody equally, but I love them too. Okay, moving right along. This is way too long. Now we're going to talk about doomsday stuff. I want to know what all the smart people think is going to end the world because they're so smart. And Bill Gates is really smart. He made $1 billion. That makes him smart, right? He thinks that weaponized diseases could be the biggest threat to humanity. These bacteria, it's been over 100 years since the big influenza outbreak that killed gazillions of people. The big plagues and that sort of thing have been major killers, wiping out way more than like a lot of the wars. Wars have been pretty bad too, but we're pretty good at killing things, but bacteria is too. So he thinks that it could be weaponized bacteria, weaponized, maybe a virus, I don't know. Drop it into New York, and then, oh no. So you guys can read the article here if you want to. We're just getting into the whole doomsday element, and then we're moving right along, because that's what we do. We want to keep you guys nice and scared. All right, Elon Musk, he's saying that maybe World War III would be the thing he's worried about. So he wants to make sure that we have colonies on Mars. It's very important to plant a seed on Mars and have that seed be self-sustaining and make sure it's far enough away that we don't have to worry about, nonsense here in Earth blowing up out there. So that's really important. But there's always this third element, that comes in to play. Well, the dread pirate Bezos has been sailing the solar waves. He's spending $1 billion a year on space technology. He's also the richest man in the world right now. But let's just talk about what's really going on here, guys, because Jeff Bezos, he's not motivated by saving the human race, other than the fact that he makes a lot of money off the human race. He's got enough money. What he's really doing is creating a haven. A haven, because if there's a giant disease outbreak, well, the rich people don't want to catch that. That's for poor people. Diseases are for poor people. If there's a world war, well, if it ain't making them money, and if it's blowing up stuff that's pretty close to their house, that ain't for them. That's for poor people. They're going to be hanging out up on the moon in their resort that they've already built on the dark side of the moon. Jeff Bezos, guys, he owns a few islands out in the middle of the Pacific that are far enough away that you can't even see the light when he launches rockets. He's been launching rockets up to the dark side of the moon for years. And trust me, he's got enough money to know what's going on with orbit, to know what's going on with satellites. And yes, there have been satellite pictures of some of the things that he's doing, but he just buys it and deletes it. You guys really think with that much money he can't do anything he wants? Well, he can. So, right now he's been going up there, hanging out on the moon, coming around to the light side for a while so we can look down at the Earth and be like, look at what I own, man. We own all this. Isn't that right? Sultan Steve, that's a friend of his that's worth a lot of money that goes by Sultan Steve when he's traveling interplanetary, it's not interplanetary, it's just on the moon. I don't know what it is. When he leaves the planet, he goes by Sultan Steve. Solar Sultan Steve sometimes too. I'm gonna go see what games we're playing this week. This week I've been playing open world games. I've been doing a lot of research with the Zweihander game here. You can see the monster on the shirt here. We're gonna have some open world elements, even though it's gonna be depending on the budget, how big the game's gonna be. But I want the characters to respond in ways that would be natural. So I've been looking at old open world games. Started with Morrowind and Oblivion, installed those, modded them up, played them a little bit, a few hours each. And then started playing some of The Witcher 3, Free Space 2, played that a little bit. But the thing I ended up thinking had the most, I guess, intricate and interesting world was a game I haven't played, but always meant to, and that's Gothic 2. And I just installed it, started running around in the first area, but the way that the people in that game respond to things that are happening is pretty good.
Put that weapon down. Hey, you're not quite as stupid as you look.
They really hit some of the nuances that even some modern games just kind of miss, and some of the modern, more, I guess, feel like they're on rails than this. But this game has a DirectX 11 patch that you can install to give it better graphics, so I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. The graphics are really blocky and ridiculous, but if you want an immersive, interesting world, check out Gothic 2. It's not as hot as it used to be. Complaining. Yeah, in case you guys missed it, we've recorded this a couple times. I bumped this stupid thing, or somebody did. We don't know who did. Someone, the mic just stopped working. And the first time I messed up with Open Broadcaster.
It's okay. You're sick, and you need to get your toenails trimmed. And
All right, let's talk about.
not news.
This is non-news. I don't know why we're even talking about this.
We're talking about this because to give the slow clap of like special boys here.
Oh,
so
another game.
Yeah. So not only will God of War not have microtransactions, everybody they're heroes. State of Decay 2 will also not have microtransactions. All right, here you go, guys.
Wow.
You're heroes. Ready?
Way to go.
Whoop-de shit. Way to literally not make news at all, but promote yourself like it is. So, like, guys,
It's cool that they're not going to have microtransactions. That's really cool. But it's sad that we're in a state where this is big news.
where companies are like, holy crap, guys, this AAA title's not going to try to take more of your money after the initial one. Like,
that's big news.
yeah, more of...
The president talked about gun violence today with members of the video game industry.
Which makes total sense.
Yep. Except that 80% of mass shooters showed no interest in video games.
Well, it's just because the Columbine guys, they played a lot of Doom, and they even created a Doom level that was like their high school, and so that was a difficult thing. But we didn't talk about video game. We talked about it, but not almost. It feels like now we're talking about it as much as we did back in 1993 when we had the original. This is the thing. I'll show this first.
So
This is hilarious. If you guys want to go see something ridiculous, go back and watch
Hold a
the
hearing
original
on video
C-SPAN
game
footage
violence.
here of the Senate hearings on video game violence, where they basically sit around and praise Nintendo and tell Sega that they're evil for making Night Trap and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Well, they made Mortal Kombat with blood, and Nintendo was like, no blood. You know,
remember how simple the 90s were, gang?
Night Trap, these horrific violent scenes. Oh yeah, here's the Sega version. They showed the difference. They're basically like just stroking Nintendo the entire time. Anyway,
You're like,
so that's
"Here's
back
why
then.
Nintendo's so amazing.
Yeah, they're showing that. And then here's the new video that is on the White House's website. Violence in video games.
Demonetized.
Shit.
Yeah, because they're using this flat out. I mean, are they doing this for news purposes? You noticed something pretty interesting about this video.
Yeah, so I was watching this and I couldn't help but notice the fact that, first off, all they're doing is showing FPS games. That's it. And also, they're showing only selected scenes that show people killing civilians, public service people like police officers and things
Women.
like that, women, and like other fellow soldiers.
Look
Like
at this,
here,
look at
here
this.
he's killing a cop
Police.
and stuff. So this is like a select group of things that they're showing.
Civilians and police.
Yeah, like they're. This is all they're showing is being like, this is every single video game, you guys, every single one. And then
Okay.
because we don't know where our allegiances lie anymore within the government, they show some innocent Nazis being murdered as well.
I wonder
Like
if
it's
they-
a bad thing
I wonder
to
if they,
kill Nazis all of a sudden.
I don't know. And mutants. I mean, I wonder if they sit around and jerk off this hard to videos of drones killing families and stuff.
Yeah.
Did they do that at the White House?
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody come over. We got like a Sunday event. We killed a whole family of brown people in the Middle East somewhere, and we're going to watch it
Yeah.
on Big Tron or whatever the hell.
What's the joke? What's the difference between a terrorist cell and a kindergarten classroom? Shut up and fly the drone.
So anyway, they're freaking out about violence again.
Yeah, but
Meanwhile-
also they're showing scenes from games that show off World War II, which I don't remember if you guys know about World War II or not, or World War I or any of the World Wars, but America got involved in those, and the people that were in those wars were heroes for doing these things back in the day.
right, but we really just need a scapegoat to blame video games, and it's just. I didn't think they were going to continue with this nonsense, but they are continuing with this nonsense, and I don't know what they hope to accomplish by this, other than just what do they want to censor games? What do you guys want to do? What are they trying to do other than like just distract us from looking at any real issues?
Yeah.
I don't see any other reasons.
I think they know that this is like a hot button, so they're like, if we piss off enough people about this, this will get everyone all up in arms, which is exactly what we want, and then we can do all of our real sinister bullshit underneath.
All right, guys. Be sure to grab ass. Be sure to grab.
Please don't grab ass.
Be sure to grab ass.
That can get you in a lot of trouble. Please don't.
Do it.
Unless it's your own. You can stand up and do that all you want after this video's over.
Yep.
We ain't gonna stop you.
I mean, unless the government gets involved.
Yeah.
Unless they know. This is our 3360 based Finnick Swift Tesla shirt, and this is our new extremely metal shirt for Zweihander. And yes, you guys are gonna have to fight this thing in the game at some point.
Yep.
I don't know if he's gonna want to fight or not, though. We're thinking about making him a scavenger or something.
Yeah, we actually, you guys missed probably a 45-minute session of us just trying to come up with a name for this thing.
Name and what he does.
That was just us being like, no, that sounds like he picks flowers in a field full of trolls. That's a stupid name. Or like, oh, well, that ending sound makes him sound like he's magical. It's
Right. Like, let's call him a Flollygif.
Yeah.
Like, no, that sounds like some happy internet thing.
But then other people might call him a folly GIF, and that would be weird. So
Yeah, it was a lot of that. That's what goes into making monsters. A lot of times, just sitting around making up ridiculous names. And if you want to look at like the history of how a lot of the monster names in D&D came up, it was like, let's make a Craggle Snag.
Yep.
Okay, here it is. I'll draw it for you.
Yep.
Okay, there's Craggle Snag.
here's a creature called a flumph.
The Flumph. Yes.
Yeah, it's a real creature. Look it up.
I don't give a Flumph. All right. See you guys later.